Welcome to Financial Focus, brought to you by Gulf Coast Financial Services founder and CEO, John Kuykendall. John and his team of financial, legal, and tax professionals have provided North Florida savers and investors sound, comprehensive financial guidance for over 25 years, helping you to achieve important life and planning goals. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and tune in for more Financial Focus by visiting GulfCoastFinancial.net.
And welcome into Financial Focus, your resource for a common sense approach to planning, brought to you and presented by the best of the best in financial services, 6 years and running, as named by the Lake City Reporter. They are the team from Gulf Coast Financial Services, and founder CEO John Kuykendall here with us. John, always a pleasure. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Peter. It's great to be here on this rainy afternoon. I'm just real excited to be inside, not out there getting wet. So At least we finally got some water in Florida. It's been kind of dry, but we're taking care of that. That's good.
Yeah, and much needed. Really. I mean, it's kind of been overdue. But John, we have talked about some of the events that you have held recently, your 4th of July cookout that you did for first responders, police, firefighters, and that went over very well. And since then, we've had some conversations off air, and I find that you are a very involved person. I don't know where you find time to do everything, but on the city council, member of a board of directors for local hospital, you've got a lot going on.
Well, I'm not on the city council. I'm on a subcommittee of the council called the CRA committee, which is Community Reinvestment, which is very good. I've been active on that for a number of years. Member of the Gideons here in town, also a member of my church, very active. And I also am members of a Christian motorcycle group, and we get together and ride from time to time. So, you do what you want to do, and I really like serving the community. The hospital is one of my biggest treats. I really enjoy working with the hospital and the doctors out there and making sure that Columbia County has the best medical treatment that we can get. Well, that's real important.
I mean, I think that is very admirable. And obviously, it's taken time out of your personal life in order to do all of these things. And then building the business as you have. You've been in financial services, including your time in banking, for what, 40-some years?
Yeah, too long. Almost. I've got almost 50 years, Peter. We're coming up. Gulf Coast Financial is almost 30 years old, and I was 20 years in banking. So I've got 49 years plus experience in financial world. And, that really helps me a lot because I know a lot about mortgages because I was a mortgage broker for a while, actually. I know a lot about finance and refinancing homes and helping people get out of debt and making sure the debt's proper. And then over the years that I've been with Gulf Coast Financial, I've learned a ton about taxes and how everything works and how this system is integrated. And the one thing I have found out with my experience is that retirement is just as difficult as working.
Yeah.
It's just a different set of problems. I mean, when you're working, you're worried about keeping your boss happy. And when you're retired, you're worrying about keeping your money happy because the happier your money is, the happier you're going to be. And so we really try to do that with our clients.
Well, John, with the almost 50 years of experience in financial services, Gulf Coast Financial, almost 30 years old, Gulf Coast Tax Advantage, the sister company, and then the experience that you have and the things that you participate in outside of your business, you've got to have a pretty good understanding that money is an important tool and important that we use it correctly and utilize it wisely in order to achieve our goals and to support what's really important to us.
Well, that's right, Peter. I mean, money is very important. It will make our retirement happy and also the kind of retirement that we want. But, we can't procrastinate in getting that plan or getting ready to retire. Retirement should start. Your planning for retirement should start when you get your first job. And then you have to work your way forward. I mean, there's no reason in waiting. If I'd have started, 20 years younger than when I did, I would have had a lot more money than I've got now. But, honestly, I've got everything I ever needed. Somebody asked me the other day, what would you like for Father's Day? And I told them I have everything that I need. And I'm really blessed in that way. But that's because money is important to me. I grew up in a very poor family. We started off. We had a gas station in Gainesville, Florida, where I was born in Waldo, grew up in Gainesville, and my dad wasn't a great business manager, and so we had a lot of problems as we tried to do the gas station and tried to make that work. So money has always been very important to me, and one of the things that was most important was that I managed the money so that I could pay my bills, never accumulate a lot of debt, and I was always trying to make sure that my payments were made on time and that I had the money. And I think that kind of helped me when I got into banking and helped me when I got into the financial world. But also, I have a degree from the University of Florida in agriculture economics. And the reason I have it agriculture economics is my grade point wasn't good enough to get into business school. But I had a friend in the ag school, and he told me, he said, if you'll come and get into ag school, I promise you that we will take you, but you can never leave. You have to stay here, which was the best decision that I've ever made. Because when I ended up getting almost a business degree because of all my time in my electives in the business school. But when I graduated, that's how I got my job in banking. I was an ag loan officer for the second largest bank in Florida. And so that got me started. And then, of course, I've been to the LSU School of Banking and also the Harvard Advanced Management Program, which was a great deal in its own.
And a Kingdom advisor as well, certified Kingdom advisor.
Also, the National Association of Christian Financial Planners, and I'm a certified Christian advisor, which I had to go through the training for that and pass that. So I'm very proud of all that. The education, you can't get enough education. When you start learning, you really stop working. And so I love to learn, and I love to read. And so that's why I get 500 or 600 emails a day.
Well, all of that, and you have built a successful business. And as you said, don't really need anything in life. What are your motivations to continue at this point in time? I know you get some joy and satisfaction of working with your family there at Gulf Coast Financial Services.
Certainly, I get a great amount of enjoyment working with my son. It's been great. That couldn't be a better relationship. My grandson, of course, he's working here, and I don't see him a lot because I try to keep him busy. But it's the satisfaction with working with people and working with my clients who trust me to help them. And we really like for them to come in and help run every decision by us before they make a mistake. And so we like to kind of sound things off with them. And so it's more or less a mission of working with my clients, working with prospects, and trying to help people have a better understanding of their retirement life than I did. There wasn't a lot of education when I came along at 65, and I made a lot of mistakes. And so what I want to do is make sure that the people coming forward don't make those mistakes.
Well, there's not a lot of fantastic education about planning in general. And then once we're talking about specifically the transition to retirement, there seems to be even more of a lack of solid education there. If we're just trying to get our progress going, or if we're thinking about we're ready to make that transition, where should that conversation with a financial professional and an advisor start?
Well, I think that, a young person there's no reason to wait. You need to go ahead and get a financial advisor. Now, what you're trying to do is you have to decide whether you've got a salesman or somebody who has a fiduciary responsibility.
Okay.
So you want to get a registered investment advisor who has a responsibility to put your interests first. But what you need is someone to help you walk through the financial path. Back in the old days, we could go to the bank and do that. Nowadays, because we have branches and there's less talent, really, I think, in banking now than there ever has been, because everything's automated. They don't really have to give you a lot of advice. I remember I went up to the new accounts desk one time when I first got into banking, and I had saved $1,000. And I walked in and I said, okay, I want to open up a CD and a certificate of deposit. And then the lady looked at me, it was good. She was a sweet little lady. And she said, John, she said, why do you want to do that when the savings account pays just as much interest? And so back in those days, it did. So, if you go in now and you say you want something, they're going to sell it to you. They're going to give it to you without really thinking about what your needs are. And that's one of the things that we try to do, is to make sure everybody understands why we're doing something and why we want them to do something.
Well, I know that, John, unfortunately, guidance is lacking. But again, you've got that fiduciary responsibility, that angle when providing advice, that you are putting the client's best interest first. And it's a moral, legal, ethical responsibility. Not every advisor has that. Not every source of financial advice has that. Our brother-in-law, our co-worker, they're not going to have that. People working for a specific company that have that company's best interest in mind, they may not necessarily have that, but they're Gulf Coast Financial Services. That's a big distinction that you are proud of in representing your clients.
Well, we're the only locally owned registered investment advisor in our community. And I do put that very highly. And the day that we get to the point where we're more concerned about commissions and income is the day that I can say that I can retire, because that's never going to happen. And I don't plan on retiring anytime soon either. But, the thing is that you have to worry about whether you're getting products sold or whether you're getting education. And, I can give you a 500-page document that's going to show you that if you do this, this, and this, you'll be able to retire with all the income you need, and you're going to leave a legacy of $10 or $20 million, depending upon when you started. But it's not right. Why not have something simple that you can understand, something that we can change as we need to change it. And also, it doesn't have to be a voluminous volume. Why not just have 3 or 4 pages in a PDF file?
Those hypothetical projections, and a lot of times just the overabundance of content and data and charts, sometimes they cloud the picture more than provide clarity.
Yeah, and Peter, the thing of it is we know that historically the stock market's earned over 9%. For as long as we've kept records. But we know also that because of the sequence of returns, that if I'm pulling money out in a down market, I don't care what the market's average, my money's going to run out quicker than if I was in an up market. And so you just compound that fact that you're going to run out of money sooner. And the stock market doesn't go up consistently. So you have to take that in consideration. If I throw a rate of 10%, pull the money out, sure, I'm going to be able to have a lot of money left over, but it's just not right, I don't think. And I don't think that it's fair to an individual to show those huge returns.
So, John, when you're constructing plans and putting them together, would you say you're overly optimistic or overly pessimistic? And then how do your clients respond to that or feel about their plan given that perspective?
Well, I like to say that we're conservative. So we're going to give you a conservative estimate on what you're going to do. Hopefully, I'm of the old adage that I'd rather under promise and over deliver. And so what we're going to do is have a number that's realistic, but that it's not, we're not overestimating. And we're going to give you our best guess at what you can do with what we're doing. And then we're going to show you ways to tweak it and ways that we can make changes so that you can have a lot better chance of making that work. And I'm not really concerned about legacy, which is leaving money to the kids and grandkids, as I am making sure that you have the retirement you want. Now, that's caveated with the understanding that if there's a special needs, and I just talked to a lady the other day who has a special needs son, and we're going to try to factor in the plan there, a legacy for him in a way for something happens to her that he can continue receiving the income. So it just depends on the plan. But yeah, we're conservative to say the least.
Well, John, you mentioned that it would be great if we started saving for retirement with our very first job and dollar earned. So I assume you're of the opinion it's never too soon to start planning. However, I don't think that's when most people do it. So what are you seeing as kind of the leading causes and motivations that sort of give us that wake-up call and make us understand and act on the fact that, yes, we could benefit from some professional help in our financial planning to make our money work for us.
Well, unfortunately, it's as people get closer to retirement, they begin to worry about it, because then they're going to have to figure out how I'm going to live on my own. How much money do I have set aside, and how am I going to make this work? And so that's the real problem. It would be a lot simpler if we started. Now, I did meet with an individual this morning who's 50 years old, and we actually started planning for his retirement at age 65. Those are the ideal things, because at that point in time, there are certain things that I can do for him that is going to make his life a lot easier at age 65 than if I'd started at 60 and then tried to retire at 65.
So a good 10 to 15 year window is ample time to make some improvements and a measurable difference in retirement.
Sure. I mean, at 50, the kids are probably gone. Hopefully, they're never gone, but hopefully they're out of the house. And, you've already done some things, you've paid off some things, you're settled. And so then is a good time to start 50 plus. Yeah.
Well, if you need help, ladies and gentlemen, in your planning, in the financial progress that you are making, and identifying risks or obstacles in your way, and then formulating your approach for how to address them, if you'd like to understand the risks that you're taking, the fees that you're paying, the taxes you may be liable for, how to generate that retirement income. John, those are all things that you've helped clients understand and address.
Yes. And, the taxes are a huge part of retirement. And the way that we take our money.
Is that a reason why you're hearing from people or seeing people concern over what taxes may be in the future right now?
Well, with the new administration and the proposed increase in taxes constantly, things are going to change. Like I said last week, the new Social Security statement says down at the bottom that this is an estimate subject to change as laws change. So, people are concerned about taxes and where they're going and how I'm going to be hit. The problem is most people don't realize that they can pay as much tax now as they paid during their working years. So when they retire. So, that old adage that we used to tell in the old days is that when you retire, you're going to be in a lower tax bracket. That ain't happening.
So if we want to control that, again, being proactive, planning as early as possible is going to be beneficial for us. Yep.
Well, sure. Because with that 50-year-old, I was able to show him a way that we could do some life insurance and to grow some tax-free income for him, but also have a nest egg that he could pull out for long-term care, terminal illness. And we got it at a price that was cheap. So, we can do a lot more things the sooner we start.
Well, be proactive, ladies and gentlemen. If you need help and assistance, almost 50 years of experience there at Gulf Coast Financial Services, John Kuykendall, plus generational planning. There's a plan in place for how things will transition for you to support you and your planning needs at Gulf Coast Financial Services and Gulf Coast Tax Advantage. Pick up the phone, give them a call, find out what that fiduciary responsibility, what that difference means, and find out about the approach and how it may be different than what you've experienced anywhere else there at Gulf Coast Financial Services. 386-755-9018, 386-755-9018 is the number to call, 386-755-9018. Be sure to like the podcast. If you've heard anything that you have enjoyed here, make sure to comment. If you want to hear about other topics, you can always find resources below in the description. And if you have found value, share this with others that may also find value in this message. Each week we're here on the Financial Focus podcast, hoping to help you stay financially focused on your goals. And John, we always appreciate your help and assistance in making that happen.
Thank you, Peter. It's great to be here. I hope everybody out there will take advantage of that offer.
Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and tune in for more financial focus by visiting GulfCoastFinancial.net. The information presented on this program is provided for informational purposes only, without warranty of accuracy, completeness, or suitability for a particular purpose. This program is not intended to be and does not constitute financial, investment, legal, or tax advice. This information is general in nature and not specific enough to be construed as advice. You should not make any decision based on the information presented on this program without independent consultation with an appropriately licensed professional or competent advisor. Investment in securities or the market involves a potential risk for loss of principal. Trading, therefore, may not be suitable for all listeners. Annuity guarantees are based solely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing company. Withdrawals of growth from annuities may be taxable as ordinary income in the year it is taken. Individuals should review contracts for specific details of the product's features and costs. Early withdrawals may subject the owner to penalties, fees, or taxes. John Kuykendall is registered with and securities are offered through Kovac Securities Inc., member FINRA SIPC, found online at www.kovacsecurities.com. Advisory services are offered through Gulf Coast Financial Services Inc., a registered investment advisor in Florida. Gulf Coast Financial Services Inc. is not affiliated with Kovac Securities Inc. or Kovac Advisors Inc. Past performance is not indicative of future results. All investing involves risk. Investment decisions should be based on your own goals, time horizon, and tolerance for risk. Due to various factors including changing market conditions and/or applicable laws, the content may no longer be reflective of current opinions or positions.